What's up, my beautiful butterflies? It's the Awakened Butterfly, and I'm back with another video. If this is your first time coming across my channel, please stay for the entire video. If you enjoy the content, please don't hesitate to hit the like and subscribe button. How are you guys doing? Hope everyone's taking care of themselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Today, guys, I have a very special video that I want to present to you guys because I've been looking on social media and reading a lot of online articles, and I've been hearing a lot of people saying, especially on other platforms, that and actually most importantly from my own personal experiences, that we all, especially the chosen, are trying to be silenced these days. A lot of tactics are starting to fail because the matrix is indeed crumbling. A lot of things are being found out. A lot of people are awakening to what's going on around them. I'm so happy about that. And the more that this happens, the more tactics that they try and come up with in order to silence you. They stop at nothing. And one tactic that's being, I noticed that a lot of people have been discussing, and well as I've been experiencing, I'm sure you guys probably have, is the mind control thing. Whether it's, well, at first it seems as though, well, there's a lot of narcissism going on. I know you guys know that. But normally they were trying to send in a lot of narcissistic people into your lives, and a lot of people are starting to catch on to that. There are a lot of platforms out there that are spreading awareness about narcissistic people. People are starting to catch on. It's just a beautiful thing how people are starting to become aware of a lot of things. And one thing that they're starting to use now that they feel, well, even more now, which has always been used, is mind control. And they were doing it more, if you want to say, in a technical sense, in the manual way, and that was sending people in, right? Now it's more of a, they're using it more with electronic harassment. There's a lot of electronic harassment going on more than anything now, to silence people, to do all these things without a trace of evidence, okay? And that led me to do research on another form of gangstalking, which is in the form of electronic harassment, and that is artificial telepathy. And that is where someone has the ability to electronically transfer thoughts and images to someone else's brain. And scientists compare the experiences of artificial telepathy to receiving a phone call from someone on your cell phone. And the reason they do this is because the technology that is said to replicate the same technology as a cell phone is because they use, it's like a communicator, which is the sender and the receiver, and they're linked to satellites. So pretty much the sender, which would be the attacker, the receiver, which would be the targeted individual, would be the receiver, of course, and it's linked to satellites. So they use satellites in order to pinpoint their target. A multiplexer is then used to route the voice signal of the sender. So once the satellite is connected, the multiplexer is put into place in order for them to locate targets. The connection is made through the microwave tower. And if you guys haven't looked at my video about the microwave auditory effect, please do so. It explains how these microwave frequencies are used to send signals to another person's brain. It is sent to a specific location, which is then targeted to one's brain cell. The receiver, which is the target, is then located and tracked with 100% accuracy. So they really know, who they want to target, and the system can't actually work until they're 100%, connected with the target. Only a few feet away from the target is the attacker has to be in order for this to take place. So when this is taking place, the perpetrator is only within a few feet away of the person that they're attacking with this equipment. Although the technology resembles basic operation of a cell phone, the receiver is actually a human brain, and the attacker is actually using artificial intelligence to send these thoughts and images to one's mind. What is taking place at this time now? A voice is immediately interrupting this person's thoughts, and it's basically interrupting the brain of the target. Since the human skull has no firewall, the voice cannot be pushed out. Okay, it can't be shut out. So at this point, the receiver, which is the target, is able to hear everything that the sender at this point is able to hear everything that the receiver, which is the target, is thinking. And vice versa. The target is also able to hear the responses from the sender. It's thoughts being spoken, as if they're spoken verbally. Like when the thoughts from the target's brain is being sent back to the sender, it's being spoken in words. Like it's like you're actually speaking back to them. The thoughts are recorded back to them in audio. Now the target is stating that they're hearing voices. And this is better known as artificial telepathy, guys. This is what they're calling schizophrenia. Okay. This is what they're labeling as hallucination, psychosis, all of these things. Many individuals have described this experience as feeling like someone has placed a chip in their brain. There are some who are not completely against telepathy. Some people feel that it would be cool to communicate with friends and lovers. Now, these are people that scientists actually did a survey on to get an opinion on how they actually felt about this. Because, however, the problem is its ability to serve as a weapon against targeted individuals. That's the problem. It's not being, I feel like, to even be able to intrude someone else's brain, even if it was used for a pleasurable moment at that time, I just feel like it would turn into something unpleasurable later. It's just not good for them. I don't think it's healthy for the mind, no matter what you're using it for. This allows them to invade your brain and to get ungiven information, and it also allows them to mentally torture a person. It allows the victim to be harassed, controlled, and exploited. As long as this technology is permittable, anyone can become a victim to this form of electronic harassment. Due to the mind control that possibly takes place, it also opens the gates to demonic possession of another individual's soul. So have you ever, you look on the news, which I don't watch the news, but we all have came across those times where we've seen the news where someone has I'm sorry guys, I'm trying to fix my lighting here. Where someone has did something way out of pocket, like shot up something and just did something very outlandish, and then they said that the voices in their head told them to do it or something like that, and everyone's like, oh, they're crazy. But guys, this is actually a serious situation that I'm pretty sure a lot of people have experienced this, and they've been either executed or locked away for no reason, even though they actually committed the crime, but there was something else taking place that allowed them to do so. And I'm not making excuses for anyone's actions, but guys, a lot of these things that have taken place has been due to artificial telepathy. This weapon is used to manipulate peace protesters, certain journalists, spokes leaders of local groups, keep pushing them into silence, trying to stop them from spreading a positive message. They also use artificial intelligence to discredit the peace protesters and the journalists, to keep them quiet and as possible threats. This form of harassment also offers a means for a complete invasion of privacy, guys. Phone numbers, PIN numbers, passwords, personal thoughts, secrets. They're no longer protected in your mind once these people are using this type of equipment. All private and embarrassing moments are now surveillance, collected, and will, possibly used later as evidence, for blackmailing purposes. One post is also, your past is also reviewed and collected. So they can also see one's past with this equipment. If you're thinking about, depending on what you're thinking about, a lot of people think about their past. And for this reason is why a lot of people, if on spiritual channels, they tell you to not focus on the past, just move forward, because a lot of people are aware of what's going on with this type of harassment. An individual with access to this technology is kind of like a stalker with your phone number, okay? Except they're tapping into your mind. It's like they're calling you all day and all night with no respect for your privacy or personal space. Tapping into your thoughts, your prayers, disrupting your sleep, making fun of your religious beliefs. Like, these are things that a lot of people can hear in their head, like being mocked, voices, of someone making fun of them, just about their life in general. You may, due to the possession that could take place in one's mind, it could affect their love, how they express it. They could overly express it. They could express it in a perverted way, an abusive way, a toxic way. This could be used for dream invasions, because a lot of us, and I do have a very special video for you guys about dream hacking coming very soon, but it can also interrupt with dream invasions. Like if someone's gifted, well, we're all gifted to get dreams from the Most High. A lot of us have visions and dreams of things that he wants us to either be aware of or take heed to. And then you ask yourself, you say, okay, so if I'm experiencing this, especially the people that are aware of this, highly intelligent people that are like, okay, I know someone's doing this. I don't have to question it. I know what's going on. Okay, so without physical evidence or proof, guys, how do you present these things to law enforcement? Everything that is occurring at that time and taking place is inside of your mind. So the person that, is attacking the target cannot be seen, or identified. So, but at the same time, there's a tremendous amount of psychological abuse that is taking place. On the other hand, there's no physical damage being done to the body to prove another person is actually responsible. I mean, there's nothing physical. You can't take photographs for evidence. The attackers are, they're using foul and perverted language in your mind, but you can't prove none of the things that they're saying. And if you do, they're possibly going to try and diagnose you with a mental illness and get you evaluated. This technology is set up in government agencies and secret law enforcement stations. Yes, guys, there are secret law enforcement stations where this equipment is actually set up to take place. It's not even in your regular law enforcement, local police station. There's actually special stations where law enforcement can go to use, in other government agency members to use this equipment. Artificial telepathy is also it's really illegal interrogation and information gathering, right? So it kind of makes you think about the sting operations, where they unlike the FBI, they don't have the evidence to come in, but they, due to their speculations, that's the only reason they have to come in on you in hopes of finding something. So that's kind of, which is all harassment. So that's what this is. In other words, it's another way of harassment. With the information gathering and interrogation, except they're doing it privately in your brain when no one else knows what's going on. Law enforcement's way of getting by with using illegal harassment and interrogation tactics is pretty much what this is. This technology is a well-known secret of the government, but kept secret from the public. The government even denies the use of this technology because there are no laws giving that supports the permission of this technology to actually even be used. It's obvious that it's a kept secret due to the activity taking place, and rather than them using it as a false form of national security. Because when asked about this by curious on seekers there was a curious person, which they're anonymous. They were curious and very smart, but they did some technology. They formed a website to where different people who were experiencing the same symptoms of artificial telepathy came together and discussed their experiences and symptoms. This person actually linked this to the government, possibly, and when asked, it was denied and said, well, if we were to ever use this, and if it was permitted, if this was actually a thing, we would use it for justice purposes. And it's just justice purposes. It just makes you think, like, okay, if you guys are already behind this illegal action, how would you use it for justice purposes? What justice would you serve when you're already doing illegal things? The best way to pinpoint the harassment is to start with the target, I feel. If it's taking place by someone else, you wouldn't have to figure out how they were able to do it. Meaning, if this person is intelligent to know that they're not thinking these things, they know that there has to be a connection from them to someone else. Just, which means subsystems, multiplexers, and satellite. You know what I mean? Like, if you're thinking in your mind, okay, there has to be someone sending this to my mind. I'm not thinking these things. These thoughts are not mine. And that's why you also hear that saying where a lot of people say your thoughts are not your own. It's possibly because of things like this. And if one could just come to realize, I'm not thinking these things. Someone's transmitting these things. There's a sender involved. There's a multiplexer involved. And there's a satellite involved. These things could possibly be traced back one day, guys, to who's, to the people who's doing this, The receiver through artificial intelligence has the ability to listen and to respond, okay, to the electrical activity of the brain implant. Now I know what you guys are thinking. How is there a brain implant and they're not actually near the individual? Well, it's the frequencies through the multiplexer. It's the 100% accuracy target is what makes it like a brain implant. So it's very possible for this type of activity to be traced, guys. But if law enforcement are the ones that's helping enforce this activity, will calling them even make a difference? No, it won't. And if they were not the abusers, how would it be possible for them to make an arrest? For these reasons, these situations can be investigated by law enforcement due to the revealing of their secret criminal activity. And it will be easier for them to just accuse you. Instead of them getting found out going through all of this, it will be easier for them to just accuse you of being mentally ill, unstable, to just calling a family member, maybe to, admit you into a mental hospital, things of that nature. Maybe you need to talk to someone. Family members, if they're not aware of this, that's why we have to spread the awareness, guys, about these things. So so our family, people who are close to us, everyone can know about this. They will also begin to smile and nod. Now, they can also get to some of your family too if they're vibrating low, if they're not, meaning that if they're open for this type of negative energy, these people will nod. Family, friends, like, oh, I know. Like when you're trying to tell them what you're experiencing, maybe a laughing gesture, a joke, or something like that, calling you crazy. The more serious they see you become about the situation and you're not backing down, that's when they may suggest admitting you into a mental hospital, for meds and some rest. If you have a family member that has been diagnosed with a mental illness, they may try and offer you some of their meds to relax. I've had someone in my family try and do that to me before. You've been working, they may say, oh, these are some things that I wrote down that I feel like through my experience they would say to you. You have been working too hard, maybe you should get some rest. There are a lot of people who will, just pinpoint something out of your life and knowing that there's something else going on, but they will blame it, on that reason to try and throw you off. They may laugh and say, are you good? Is everything okay? Or they may say everything's going to be all right and rub you on your back or your shoulder or something like that. Someone might say, would you like the name of my therapist? They're really good. Maybe you just need a professional. Maybe you just need to talk to a professional. Maybe your family or, maybe me as a friend, I don't understand you enough. So here's the number to my therapist. And, maybe you should talk to them about it. This is also how targets become gang stalkers themselves through the demonic possession of the artificial telepathy. They can, put thoughts into their mind and frequencies to make them also gang stalk another person. That's why we have to be very careful, guys, about, who we allow into our lives, who we share our energy with, people's intentions when they're around us. Since it can read your entire mind, if there's anyone that the target sees as a threat in any form, okay, they will now be gang stalked by the target. It's like a domino effect, with that. Only ones that they can harass are the ones who are not aware of this form of harassment. So it's like once you become aware of it, of what's going on, they can no longer use this on you anymore. They feed off of fear and worry. The more you fear and worry what they're doing, the worse they become. And in contrary, if you are aware of the electronic abuse, the sender will be revealed. the sender will eventually be revealed through you. Um, and you will no longer be an interesting target for them to pinpoint anymore. They will move on to someone else who's not aware of the situation. It's more fun for them. This will unfortunately result in them pinpointing, targeting, and harassing someone else. Yes. The more people that become aware of this, the less effective this form of electronic harassment will be. Honestly, awareness is important because the case of hearing voices, to mental health professionals and family and friends, is a classic case of schizophrenia to everyone. So it's very important to let everyone know about this. So if anyone's experiencing this, no one is just pinpointing something's wrong with you, you have schizophrenia, or you need to go and talk with someone. Also, due to artificial telepathy, many psych doctors being unaware, there are many that are aware, there are also many that are unaware of this abuse and are diagnosing people with schizophrenia. So that's me. That it's like a lose-lose situation. Even the ones that are aware are doing it, and even the ones that aren't aware are doing it. Some are even confused by their own diagnosis because I did some research, guys, and I found out that schizophrenia starts in the early 20s. My theory on that is, and this is just my opinion, if this indeed being caused by electronic harassment, trying to target individuals at the early stages of life in order to develop long-term traumatizing effects on them, trying to make them feel that these things are that this is a mental illness that stemmed from their early adulthood, when all actuality they're trying to silence them from something. And due to them being young and unaware of what's going on, and people in their family could either be unaware of it or in on it, they're actually labeled with a mental illness, put into an institute, and I also found out that victims of artificial telepathy doesn't start to develop these symptoms until you're in your 30s or 40s. And my theory on this, which is just my opinion, is I feel like this is the time where people start to really awaken. There are some very special ones out there that awaken way early, like in their teens. But majority, it's 30s and 40s where you really start to many start to awaken to these things. So this is where the artificial telepathy takes place. This is usually, the 30s and 40s is usually around your spiritual awakening period, and that's why this happens. And around this period, you are also seen as a threat. There's a large amount of scientific literature to support these claims, but people are silenced into having a mental illness and needing to take meds. There are many people that became aware of this and were silenced into believing that something was wrong with them, and now they're on meds and the medication has them sedated. So with that being said, guys, I have a movie that I want you guys to watch. I'm gonna leave the link down below. It's a free movie for you guys to watch. I don't know if a lot of you guys have watched it, but I was very interested in it because it was the movie was filmed in 1982, which was before I was born. So I'm very interested because to know that these things take place, in early ages, and just to know that these things have been taking place just amazed me. I'm like, wow. The name of the movie is called Scanners. If a lot of you have already seen it, please let me know how you feel about it in the comment section. But the movie is about a scientist who trains a man to have telepathic abilities. And he's finding it hard to tap into other people's minds and dreams with this technology. And the scientist is using him in order to defeat a more advanced scanner that is now attacking non-scanners. So it's like this scientist that thinks he's serving as a superhero, really just damaged someone else's mind for his own selfish reasons, because these scanners were developed by were developed by scientists. So it's not just like these people are just acting this way by free will. So it's just all, like I said, a domino effect of harassment. And like I said, your thoughts are not your own. And this is how what I tell people in order to get over this. If you're not thinking it, it's not your thoughts, period. You know your thoughts. It's like the gift of discernment. Pray to God for the gift of discernment. It will really help. And I used to have a hard time with this, but now I know my thoughts from God's voice to the attackers, because I still get attacked by these voices saying crazy things. And I'm like, I know this is not me. You know, okay, first of all, think of it like this. You know yourself. If you're not thinking it, it's not you. If it's something that's not even pertaining to you or your life, and it's negative and crazy and just not even in alignment with you, because God's going to keep you. Not only is he going to say things positive to you and things that's going to help you and uplift you, you know, he may send warnings as well, but it's not going to be anything negative towards you. You will know, because these voices will not tell you to harm yourself, anyone else. It will not tell you to go and do evil things towards other people, towards yourself, anything like that. It won't say anything crazy, putting you down, making you, you know, feel bad about yourself, or, you know, it won't say anything making you feel like you're being targeted. You'll know the difference. You'll most definitely know the difference, because you know your thoughts. You know God's going to send something positive your way. And you know anything that's not in alignment with you, it's not coming from God or you. It's coming from someone else. So someone else. Not a, you know, it's not coming from God. It's not coming from an angel or anything like that. It's coming from someone trying to use electronic harassment on you, because they are very much intimidated by you as a person and what you were put here to do. And that's pretty much what it is. And this movie is related to and actually the scanner in this movie is actually related to a person with a special telepathic power given by a scientist. So yeah, they actually use scanners as game stalkers. They're actually used as a weapon, you know, by attackers. So guys, I want you guys to watch that movie. It is an older movie. Let me know how you feel about it. I like the older movies because it just always interests me on how their perception was about these things that took place at that, you know, at that time. So I'm always interested in that, because I'm living in the time, in the present now. So yeah. So I hope this video helped someone. I love you guys so much. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video, guys. Watch the movie and let me know how you feel about it. And until the next video, peace and love.